And if he stops me from bringing it behind his back, then I'm just here. We roll him anyway.
So when you're in that side control, you don't always want to have like elbow to hip and like.
So that's the thing. Like I know he wants this, right? So if I just do this, it stops the gift wrap, and he reaches over the top, and it gives me this control.
And I always will. It's crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if I'm up here, he's going to immediately look for gift wrap.
Okay.
Right? So as soon as I get to my side, I go here.
You want to catch the wrist with that bottom hand? Is that
So
necessary?
no, and a lot of times you'll grab this wrist because you think you got
Right.
something, right? And so then I'll,
Okay.
yeah, and then I can hug here and push that behind.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. See, that makes a lot more sense than like starting in the gift wrap and then pushing the arm behind. Because if you're already in the gift wrap, you might as well just push down and go.
Right. So now we're gonna go from north south. Right? So sometimes in north south when we're here, this guy will want to try to expose my back. So what he'll do is he'll get one arm over, one arm under. Like that. Right? And so what he wants to do from this is he wants to start turning me this way. Right? This is where he's gonna start setting up his kimuras and his back takes and everything there. Right? So if we go back, so as soon as he pummels that in, and he gets to this over under, I'm gonna force him to start going the other way. Right? And he's gonna circle to his side control. No, you're gonna go the other way. So, no, circle the side.
Yeah, I'll this one?
Yep, where I'm at.
Oh! Damn. Wait, what? That was weird. Alright, so you're here.
Yep, so you pummel through, right? So I just start catching and turning, and he's gonna try to, yeah, because he's like, oh, I'm gonna beat you there. I'm like, you beat me.
Like I'm lowering myself.
Right? Does that make sense?
Let's do it one more time.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. You might want to, like, if you come over here, it might be easier.
Right, so he pummels this arm through, and I know he's gonna start trying to turn me this way. So I just come over the top, and I start circling my hips towards his hips. As I close this gap, his instinct is to circle this way, right? So I use that.
Wow.
To roll him over. Alright? Let's try it. 3, 2, 1. It looks like this, right? So I'm in turtle and I'm here and he's on his side and he does this. Right? So the key to this from here is from whatever position I'm hitting this deep arm drag is I want to control his elbow and his wrist so that he can't post. So from this side, from the turtle, I'm just going to go elbow to elbow and grab his wrist. And now I control both his elbow and his wrist. And now all I'm going to do is sit out. And I'm inside, twister side control. Right? So again, we're here. All I'm doing is a lot of times I get here, so my turtle, I want to go elbows to my hips. Not elbows on the mat, because that gives him hooks, that gives him, the ability to connect his hands. If he connects his hands, I'm in trouble, right? So I go elbows to hips, hands to the face, so he can't connect his hands, and then I just open this up to feed it in. And I just grab and control, and then I just bring my knee in, sit, and slide to twister side. Does that make sense? All right, let's try it. 3, 2, 1. Front headlock position, right? And we're here, and then he circles around the side, right? And so then I'm right in.
Gotcha.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, that makes
People usually like either freeze up or just try to get their guard back.
Right.
When they throw it, so it's actually a great option.
So the key to this, go turtle for me. The key to this is once you make that connection, you have to go. Right? So, because if I feed this in and he makes the connection and he hesitates and then he starts to go, like start to do your thing, like I just beat him to the spot.
That's crazy. I didn't think of that.
Right? So that's why it has to be one of those things where when he opens up and I reach this in, he's got to go.
Oh, alright.
right? There can't be the hesitation. If you hesitate, and the person understands the position, they're gonna be on your back, right? So you gotta make sure that as soon as I make that connection, I'm going, right? So now we're gonna do this from side control. So there's times when I get my guard passed and I'm on my side, right? And I'm here. So all I'm gonna do from here is very similar, because I can do this two different ways. First way is just like we were just doing. I'm gonna bring this over and grab his wrist and connect here, right? And then now it's basically like I'm, going belly down and rolling through, connecting, keeping this tight to come through.
Ninja shit.
Right?
It's so effortless too. That's crazy.
Right? So that one again is the same way, wrist to wrist, elbow to elbow. My other option here is I can come this way and come under his arm. And then now I feed his arm back across this way. So he's like this. And then now
Oh yeah, that makes it worse. Oh my god. That's stupid.
we go this way.
Dude, don't try to take the back with your arm like that. Just Americana yourself.
Right? So we have the two options, wrist to wrist, elbow to elbow, or I come under and get under his arm here, and then now I'm feeding this back across. So it's like this, right? And then now I'm keeping this connection, and then I'm just hitting that turn.
That's awesome.
Right? So you can try both versions there, and see, see what you like, see what you're looking for. But it's one of those things, right, where when I'm on my side, when he's here, like, what is he looking for? You're looking for this, right? That's it's the only difference, right?
That's so crazy. Dude. Like you want to stop it, but he has your arm. You can't stop it.
Does that make sense? All right. So play with both versions. It's I see Glover hits both. He'll also do because again, the whole premise is I just have to control his elbow and his wrist, right? So if I do this version, I'm controlling his elbow and his wrist by putting his wrist behind me and locking it in place, right? So that's what controls his wrist, and I have his elbow, right? I could do it here, right? I have the wrist and the elbow.
Sorry.
Right? As long as I have wrist and elbow, I can hit this move. Make sense? So kind of play around with different versions of it, and certain ones will feel better to you than others, and at times it depends on what the opponent is doing and what they kind of feed you, as to what you end up with, right? So play with it. Let's see what we can do with it and see how you like it, right? Let's hit it. 3, 2, 1. So we're playing our butterfly guard game. We're in here and I managed to hit my arm drag, right? And I pull him in. So normally with this arm drag, the first thing we're kind of taught to do is to scoot out, scoot around, and start looking to attack the back, right? But this guy knows that, right? So, so when I hit this, and I start to come around, a lot of times he'll bring his arm, well, he could step up, and then he gives me his leg, right? But he's gonna start trying to dig this arm back through to get his underhook back, right? So when he does that,
It's almost like a wizard.
Dude. That's sick.
we have that direction.
I feel like I didn't know how to roll there. Like I didn't want to.
Right, so we get here. This is if he pummels back across, right? So again, he's in this spot where if I were to turn, we're right back to the same spot we were just in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? So as soon as he pummels back across, that's all I'm doing, is coming here and rolling it. Right? I'm just taking it back to the same position. One more time. I know.
You put yourself back in that side control position we were just in. Okay. Wow.
Yep. Right? So I arm drag, he reaches back across, but I've got an overhook. You can do this just from overhook, right? I fought and got my overhook. Maybe I'm pulling from cocoon. I'm not getting anything going. All right? I'm like, here, take side control.
You're teaching this, I'm sure it's all for it every time.
Right? So that's option one. Option two, I hit this arm drag and I'm here. He doesn't get his arm back across, but for whatever reason, I just don't feel like I can come around. And you'll feel this with certain guys, like you just don't feel like it. You know, so sometimes it's like he's driving back into me, you know, and I'm just like, I can't come around the corner, right?
Crazy.
We go the other way. Right?
It's so simple.
I love jiu-jitsu, right? So we get here, he starts driving in, I can't cut the corner. So I'm still grabbing his elbow, controlling the, you know, so he can't bring his wrist back through. Now I'm just turning.
It's like a one-arm shoulder crunch. It feels like.
Right? Does that make sense?
Can I see that's.
I'm like,
I see it.
yeah,
but
'cause
like-
even if you're standing and that's a throw. I just realized that's the same thing. You're just sitting.
Yeah. It's a hip toss, right?
Yeah, that's
It's a
awesome.
hip toss for my knees. I'll do this side, right? So I hit him here. He starts driving into me, so I can't come around the corner, right? I'm just turning. I still have the arm. Right? So let's play with both of those options. One, they reach back through, so we just hip toss them, you know, with the control. The other one, they drive back into us, so we can't come around the corner, so we go the other direction. Right? Let's do it. 3, 2, 1. So again, he's gonna try to start attacking this arm, right? Because he's come on, right? Well, he's not gonna circle that way. So he's gonna start coming that way and turning me, right? That's what he wants to do, right? So all we're doing is I'm just turning and circling to keep that.
Oh, he's gonna try to. Okay, let's see. Interesting.
Right? So, but that's where, if you don't pummel that under, like you just have your elbows, you're just doing this style, right? From here when you're low, this is when I push your hips,
Oh, okay.
right? And then now if you stay low, I'm on your back,
Hail Mary. Okay.
right? If when I push your hips, you raise up, my elbows come inside,
Okay.
right? And then my knees come inside, and then I get back to my guard.
Okay.
Right? So,
Interesting.
yeah, so that's all we're doing. He's gonna be either 2 arms over, 1 arm under, or he's going for the north-south choke.
Right.
Right? So if you're going north-south choke, you got both arms above my shoulders, right? So you start digging for that, right? Now I turn to my side and I find your chin. Right? So now as you try to start hitting your north-south, I just roll.
Oh, you turn and then your neck. Okay.
So I turn directly into you because you want to push my face away with your ribs. So I turn into you, reach across and grab your chin. Right? And then now I just roll back. Right? Yeah, so that's the main ways that I get out of north-south.
Wait, can you put me in the north structure? So I want to turn towards you?
Yep.
Like this?
Grab my chin, yep. And then just turn me.
Oh, okay.
Go back and forth.
Alright.
Right?
So if you turn the other way, you choke yourself, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I always turn the other way.
Right, so lay down for me, right? So this will help you, right? So when I'm here, right, like feel the pressure here. Now watch what happens when I turn your head away.
Oh, okay.
Right? So if you turn your head into me, now you can suffer through that.
Right, okay.
Right? I mean,
But if I turn,
if
okay.
you turn away just a little bit, it's over.
Okay.
Because now my ribs come in and close that space off on the other side of your neck.
Right.
Right? So, yeah, so that's all I'm doing is turning in to create the space, reach over, grab the chin, roll. Right? You guys want to play with those options? Sure. Let's hit it. 3, 2, 1.